Here are some signs on how you can know that God is preparing you for a breakthrough. Sign number one, challenges keep coming. Like you can't catch a break whatsoever. It's like it's a constant from one thing into the other, and it just, you can't seem to rest for a little bit. That's because, the devil is presenting you with all these challenges. He's coming at you with his best. It's a spiritual warfare because he wants you to give up and be like, you know what, God, I can't do this. It's all too hard. But do not be afraid, because God, if God allowed it, then he's going to, if he's brought you to it, he's most certainly going to see you through it. Sign number two, you are being pushed to your absolute limits. You are being stretched in places, and you just didn't know you needed to be stretched within your spirit. And, the challenges are pushing you to your limits, and they're pushing you to your barriers. And that's because what God is doing in essence is he's stretching you out inwardly. He's stretching out your spirit. He's extending your boundaries that you may be able to receive what he's got for you. Sign number three, you may feel that God is silent. You may feel that God has forgotten about you. But in essence, God may be silent to you, but he's also testing your faith in the season of your life. He's testing your maturity. He's testing, He's working on your patience. And, just because you've prayed to God, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's got to come through now with the answers. But in that, he's also molding you to be more patient, to be more, to have endurance, to build your character at the same time. Sign number four, God is removing harmful people and harmful things from your life. Don't be surprised if you start losing people, your closest people, your friends. Don't be surprised when God starts to remove people and eliminate anything that is toxic from your life, because that is an obstacle and a stumbling block to your faith walk with God. If you have someone who is toxic, it's going to be very hard for you to remain in faith, because their toxicity and their negativity will rub off you. Sign number five, the Lord is disciplining you. Don't be surprised, because as a loving father and as a loving parent yourself, you discipline your kids. So if the Lord is, disciplining you, he doesn't mean he hates you. In fact, because he loves you, as a loving father, he needs to discipline you. He needs you to be spirit-led than ego-led. And lastly, in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 5-6, it says, "And have you forgotten the encouraging words God spoke to you as his children? My son, do not regard lightly the discipline of the Lord, nor be weary when reproved by him. For the Lord disciplines the one who he loves and chastises every son whom he receives." Disciplining is part of God's love for you. So believe in God and have faith.